Rise and shine, it's time for D is for drama. That's drama with the D. She puts the D in drama. Her guest will spill the tea. Tune into D is for drama. If gossip's what you need, it's time for D is for drama. That's drama with the D.
Yeah. That's too much.
Welcome. I'm your host, Shannon D, and today I am joined by my flesh and blood, my mother, Charla.
Hello.
And my sister, Chelsea.
It's me.
We are in Hawaii.
Yay.
My parents got a place. I don't think I've shared this yet, but the parking lot, RIP, got sold to some developers. I'm not bitter about it at all. Don't worry. And
I'm a little.
And it's sad. We've had it since the 1920s, almost
actually
100
30s.
years.
One half was
1928.
No.
That's what it says on Lake's parking lot.
I know. And there was drama around that sign because
really?
the parking lot was technically
Drama.
half of it was bought in 1935 and the other half was bought in 1939. And Susan and Bill had those signs made. And my mother was very upset that the year was wrong.
Yeah, why did they say 1928? It's so off.
I don't know.
Wait,
no,
what was the house?
22.
No,
That
the
was
house
earlier,
was
right?
22.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Oh, and I just made everyone hats for Christmas. It says Mike's Parking.
it's
in the
okay
back
because
since
that's what
1928.
our logo has said for years.
Shoot.
So,
Okay.
and then we convinced mom.
Rewriting history.
We convinced mom that it was okay that nobody would really
Nobody
fault
would.
us
Or
for
fact
being
check.
7 years off
Yeah.
on that.
There's going to be that
It
one
is so
person
random,
in the
though.
town that gets mad.
Yeah.
No,
They
I
have
went and
not
I
had
checked this
that.
out.
that was not.
But they sold the parking lot. My mom and her two sisters split the profit, and they got a house in Hawaii. And now my sister's
Yeah.
living here, and so they're going to be here in the winter or
Wildwood
part of
in
the
the
winter,
summer.
and then Wildwood in the summer.
Mm.
And so I came out to visit for my birthday.
Yay.
Woo-hoo.
Yay.
So we decided to film a couple episodes. So they'll be here next week as well. But today,
Well, speaking of Hawaii and drama, there has been some here, but
Oh,
everybody's
yes.
okay at this point. I mean, there are definitely people who've lost homes up on the North Shore, but a lot of flooding. We had what's called Kona lows, several of them, one after the other, and just a lot of rain being dropped
oh my God, it's been crazy
on these islands for the past really weeks.
Yeah, but the
Weeks
sun
and weeks.
came
But
out
the
a couple
sun has
days
come
ago.
out now. Yay.
And now
Hopefully
it's
drying everything up
gorgeous.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, so they
Yeah.
can clean up.
We fortunately did not have any drama when it came to that. Our house did just fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout out and lots of love being sent to the people that have lost their homes or had severe damage. So
Yep.
shout out. Yes.
Well, today we are going to be talking about puberty, middle school, having daughters going through puberty yourself, etc. And really, Chelsea and Charla have not had much drama over the years, I would say.
Oh.
Not too much at all. It's
Yeah,
just like,
okay.
what could we talk about with these two? But I have had drama with both of them over the years, so that's a different episode. But I thought a good topic would be Chelsea went through a bit of a rebellious period in what, seventh or eighth grade?
Seventh. Yeah, she kind of disappeared. Like Chelsea was just always very friendly, talkative, open, even keeled, a really easy kid, really. And then all of a sudden we lost her. It was like there was an invasion of the body snatchers. Her personality changed completely. She got really moody, didn't want to talk to us. And so, my husband and I are like, oh, okay, what's going on? Where'd Chelsea go? Where is she? Where is she? Like, it really was like you had been taken over by a different entity altogether.
She started hanging out with some of the more, like, I guess, popular girls who were more advanced. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I suppose they were like the bad girls or whatnot.
Mhm.
I mean, it was a small town, so I mean, they weren't that bad. Let's be
No.
real.
Really? I
But-
thought they were.
Well, I mean, they grew up in a different, I think, family, home, life situation.
Mm.
I was
hormonal. I mean, also it's finally like, oh, I want to be cute. I want to look good for boys, and I want to kiss boys, and I want to be cool with these girls. And I don't know. I just don't even remember that I was a different person, but I do remember that time in my life. Yeah, puberty's wild. I think that we don't prepare our kids enough for puberty. I think that there needs to be like more preparation for children. Like that TV show Big Mouth always like if anybody who's ever seen it or watched it, like
on
always
Netflix.
Yeah, it makes me think about like, wow, yeah, it is kind of a cool thing to just like think about that when you're going through puberty, you think you're like the only one. A lot of the times, like having these experiences, feeling these feelings, you feel alone, or you're going through it with your peers a little bit, but you still don't like, you're not necessarily talking about it with them in those ways that like you realize that, oh, they're also feeling these things.
Oh my God. Yeah. My best friends and I, like we grew up together since we were like toddlers. And so when we were going through puberty, it was so awkward and weird and we didn't know how to handle it. And we were kind of mean to each other and we'd like make fun of each other if we like made out with a boy, but really it was because we wanted to be doing that. But we were like stuck between like playing with Barbies and wanting to like try smoking a cigarette or whatever, and we were mean to each other for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely judgy. Like, I mean, you're going through it, but then you're like, oh, and then that person over there is doing something like that. I don't know how I feel about it.
They're outgrowing you kind of.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was a certainly interesting time. But
because what, you had started cheerleading, right? Is that how you got closer with them?
Was that because I did cheerleading with them. And we became like close friends in that way. And then I hung out with them a lot. And so
they were like drinking and smoking.
No.
They weren't even doing that?
No, I'm telling you, they weren't that bad.
Oh.
Like
from my point of view, it looked like they were doing everything and stuff, but they were like making out with boys and stuff.
Yeah, but so was I. You know what I mean? So I mean, so were a lot of
just making out
with,
not doing anything else.
I mean, they might have been doing some other things. I think the one girl in particular, like she was kind of known to be like
naughty.
the fastest of the bunch.
Yeah.
So there was a rumor that she had sex in 8th grade with like one of the boys. So,
oh my God.
But
you know how rumors go.
I don't even think
Right.
that was ever like confirmed. So, but
yeah, and
Not
you were
that it
wearing
couldn't
little
be.
shorts, little booty shorts.
little booty shorts.
You were bad. She was very cool then.
It was so cool.
You were cool. And then it fell off pretty quickly. It was like 7th and 8th grade, you were the coolest. And then high school came and you just became your true self.
Yeah, I guess.
Which is always cool.
Yeah.
But just not a typical popular gal.
Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily remember that I was just like such a different person, but I do know that I was like growing up, right? And all of a sudden, I don't think I knew how to handle everything.
And you were moody.
Oh yeah.
Is that what it was? She was just like
Well,
moody.
She had always been chatty and open and fun, and now she was just like brooding and serious, and it was just a strange version of who Chelsea had been for those 12 years. And now all of a sudden somebody else was living in our house.
And I remember one time you were like, Shannon, please never do this. Please never be like this. And I was like, don't worry, Mom. I won't. And then fast forward 2 years later.
Like way worse.
I would never, Mom. I'll never do that to you. Famous last words.
Those last words. You should not have had her promise that one.
No.
I would love for there to be like more studies on like hormones.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the reasons that we probably don't study hormones enough is probably because like we've mostly just studied male hormones.
Well, here was an interesting thing. So when you girls were in this phase, studies were coming out that girls were getting their periods quicker, their breasts were developing faster, they were maturing a lot quicker and younger than when I was that age. And they were talking about the hormones and the milk and the meat as a result. And so it was very visual with girls.
But I think what too, because she educated us very young, was that all the hormones being pumped into the animals.
Right.
that we're then ingesting through the meat and through the milk, probably milk worse than even the meat.
Right.
But that we're getting these hormones, artificial hormones
that are
in our
accelerating
system really young, and then it was accelerating puberty for, which is like, you know, I mean, we were the weird ones that weren't forced to drink a glass of milk every day,
right?
Because she didn't, like, you didn't force us. But yeah, I mean, that was such a thing. Remember Got Milk? Like, it was the campaign
that just came back.
The milk campaign.
Me and Horace went to Horace and I, sorry mom, went to a Got Milk
I feel like I
influencer
saw
event.
Big Milk is back,
Big
baby.
Milk is back, baby.
Yeah. So now I remember thinking to myself, okay, everybody's talking about the girls and what's happening with the girls. Why isn't nobody talking about the boys? Now let's fast forward to now. And now how were the boys affected? Lower sperm count.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Is that really? Oh,
yes, that
I didn't
is
know
very
that.
true. Yep, very true.
Okay.
So
good to know.
But nobody was talking about the boys back then, just the girls and how it was affecting the girls. And I was like, okay, it's got to be affecting the boys. Let's finish Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to you. So one day, I was in the kitchen and Chelsea walked in the back door and said, "Hey, Mom," and sat down and blah, 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 telling me all about her day and how everything was great. And I'm like, oh my God, Chelsea's back. Where'd she go? Like, where'd she go? And now she's back. Yay. You went up somewhere else in the house and I quick called Bill. I'm like, oh my God, she's back. She's back. And you were back. I didn't want to say like, okay, what happened? But then years later I said, okay, what happened? What happened at that point?
And I said, I don't know,
And
because I still don't.
She didn't. Did you even remember it?
No.
I mean, like, again, I remember this time in my life, but I had no idea that I was being perceived as like very different than I was.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense. Like, I mean, you know, I was growing up.
Yeah.
And
7th grade.
figuring things out in that.
Oh, so it was only
phase of my
7th grade,
life.
8th grade.
Oh,
she
yeah, it was
back.
during 7th grade. And I remember when I was in 7th grade looking around at my classroom and just going, oh, we are so gross. Like, we're just.
You had that self-awareness back
At that
then.
time. Okay, so when I have always thought, because like I like to teach, you know, I come from a family of teachers and I teach surfing. So I've thought over the years that maybe it'd be interesting to teach children like in school.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought the age I would want to teach is 7th grade.
Yeah,
and I think the
funny.
reason is because I'm like, that's when they're just like,
They need guidance.
and they're just
Yeah.
little shits and
Yeah.
you can just, but like they're, and you know, maybe just like help them through that time in their life when
Yeah, everyone's
Well,
so
when I-
stinky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we'll talk about stinky in a second. But when I was teaching, when I first started teaching, you were little. And so I was totally fine with little kids, like the younger ages, like very comfortable with that. And I was so afraid. I was subbing at first. And I was so afraid of the middle schoolers. Just because I knew you guys. I knew your age. I knew your friends. I was good with that. I got this.
Yeah.
And then I had to sub a middle school class one day. And the whole way
Terrifying.
driving, I am terrified. And I thought, okay, I can't let them see that I'm afraid. Can't let them see that I'm afraid. So anyway, bell rings, they start filing in, and this one cocky little boy walks in and he goes, "It's a sub." Yeah, right. And I said, "Shut up, sit down."
Oh.
And that was it. They were all like, okay. And I had
Shut
them.
up, sit
Shut up
down.
and sit down.
You said shut up.
love it. This is how you have to treat 7th graders.
So then you were like through middle school, and now I'm very comfortable with you and your friends, and I was teaching middle school, and I really ended up liking it. I had 7th and 8th
Yeah.
graders,
Oh,
and
okay.
I
feel like-
really ended up liking that age because I just realized, you know what, they're just big kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
what I think. That's why I think I'd like it is like they're old enough that like you can hold adult conversations with them,
Right.
but they're like still kids.
Yeah.
And like they are going through puberty,
Yeah,
which is
like your
just
body's
such a
changing.
hard time.
Well,
But they really are still kind of like kids, you
I
know?
mean,
Yeah, I was still playing
Yeah.
with Barbies, I think.
We were
Maybe
doing
not
that-
7th, 8th grade, but definitely watching Disney. I mean, I was watching Disney till like
We
senior
still
year.
watch
Let's
Disney.
tell
So let's be real.
Let's be very real here.
So then another thing, Chelsea, you did gymnastics, and what we watched, because you started as a little girl and your friends were all little girls. and you were doing gymnastics. And as you went through puberty, each and every one of you had to completely relearn how to move your bodies.
Oh, yeah.
All of it was very different. Your weight shifted,
Height.
and height, and all of that came into factoring of how you're doing all of your routines. Bar, vault, floor. What's the other one?
Beam.
Beam. Thank you.
I was like, which one
Each and
did
every
you
one of
say?
them. Yeah, it was very interesting.
The yeah, and I think it affected some of us more than others for sure. Like I was lucky that I didn't really grow too much boobs until I was like 18.
Right.
So I didn't have that too much to factor with, but I definitely
you were
put
doing
weight
gymnastics until you were 17.
Yeah, but I was, I think my like butt got bigger and other things got bigger.
But both of you didn't get your periods till you were in 8th grade.
Yes, because we didn't drink the big milk.
Right. Right.
that
Well,
why?
you have to have a certain amount of fat before your body begins to have your period.
Mm-hmm.
And you were skinny, and you were just in such amazing, incredible shape from gymnastics and all the other sports you did. So neither of you had that body fat until you got a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
think
that
I was
was
between 8th grade and 9th grade.
Yeah.
I think I had graduated already.
Yeah, maybe.
That summer.
Well, so speaking of stinky, so Shannon wants to follow in the footsteps of her big sister and take some gymnastics lessons.
Oh.
And she was 5.
Oh, we were little.
I'm there to pick them up. And Shannon comes running out and she wraps her arms around me. She runs to me, wraps her arms around me to like, Mommy. And I went, oh my God, what is that smell? And so yes, well, no, into my head, to my head. And I lifted your arm up and stuck my nose under her arm. And I went, oh my God.
Okay.
Whoa, what is
relax.
that? That was a lot of exclamation points. So then I went home and I couldn't Google it at that point. It was too early to Google.
You pulled out an encyclopedia.
You went to the library.
Anyway, I called the pediatrician.
Oh, there we go.
And I said, oh my God, my 5-year-old is stinking.
That's right,
I
guys.
mean, and it's that,
eat your heart out, boys.
and it was that hormonal stink. It wasn't like, I knew what it was because I stunk in 4th grade, but I was in 4th grade. I wasn't 5.
5, you guys. Isn't that crazy?
5. So I asked the pediatrician and I said, like, what can I expect here? And they said, well, it's not common, but it's not uncommon.
Oh.
And you may begin to see other signs of puberty, like underarm hair or some pubic hair. And I'm like, oh my God, my little 5-year-old's going to have pubic hair and underarm hair. Oh my God. But you never did.
No.
Never did.
Just the stink.
Well, just the stink. So I took you to CVS and we picked out some deodorant that you liked.
And I had no idea that people didn't wear deodorant that young until I was way older, like maybe even like college age. I was like, oh, you started wearing deodorant when you were like 12? I've been wearing it my whole damn life. But then the issue, remember, in middle school is my sweating. It wasn't the smell, but I sweat like crazy.
Well, you use that
and I had to use a special deodorant.
Yeah, the clinical
that would like scab up my armpits.
Yeah. But then you grew out of that, fortunately. But yeah,
I know.
I mean, there's just so many incredible changes
going on.
And you made the comment earlier about we should be better prepared. But the problem is sometimes in preparing people for something, it makes it a little bit more traumatic than when you're actually going through it. Like, for example, and I'll just give you this. I went to see with a bunch of my lady friends Menopause the Musical. I was not in menopause when I saw this. They're all laughing. I am like freaked out. I am horrified. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the show. Everybody was raving about it afterwards, and I'm like, oh God,
I think what I think would be a good thing to do for kids more is help them realize that like it's not
normal.
Just the physical though too. Because I mean, we had like the care and what is it, maintenance of your body, the American
keeping
of your body,
American Girl
doll.
booklet.
It was great. I mean, it was a good book.
Wait, and there was the one cartoon, and it was about how it doesn't matter what you eat, you won't like the boobs won't grow based on what you eat, but I just looked at the graphic and it was like this little girl who was imagining eating a plate of spaghetti and her boobs grew. And like the point of the cartoon was like, this isn't what happens. But me, I just was like, oh, I'm just going to start eating a lot of pasta so I can grow boobs. But the text said you can't eat your way to boobs, basically. And I was just like, do. Oh, wait, remember my summer list, my summer to-do list?
To get boobs.
Yeah.
What was
Tell
it?
them.
What was the list again?
So
Let's hear
Chelsea
it.
found I had a
Oh my
to-do
gosh.
list,
Her
summer
to-do
of
list.
20.
How old
or
were
two
you?
I
Like
was 12.
12.
And she found it.
It
And
was
it literally had 2 things on it to do. 1, kiss a boy. 2, grow boobs.
I feel like there was a third thing that had like that was like
That was
super innocent.
tangible.
That was like, you know, get ice cream.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Get a Roxy backpack or
Yeah,
something.
like something that was like actually tangible.
Yeah.
You can do this. Easy on the list. Check it off.
Grow boobs. That's
Oh
all
my
I ever wanted. Oh my
goodness.
God. Because I was so flat and I was such a prude. Like you were ahead of me at that point. I surpassed you later, but like you at that age compared to how I was at that age.
Yeah.
You like had kissed a boy, you had a boyfriend, you were hanging out with all the cool kids. I was like a total late bloomer. I only had like my 3 friends, that's it. And barely could talk to boys. But I was getting teased a lot for being a prude. And a prude was a very specific term in our school, which meant you legitimately did not make out. Like you never kissed anyone, nothing. And so these 2, and the one kid I had the biggest crush on, Shay and Corey, every day in science class would go. So have you kissed a boy yet? Have you kissed a boy yet?
The kid you had a crush on was doing this? You should have been like, well,
Yes.
kiss me.
Well,
We'll
kiss
change
me,
that.
Let's get it over with.
I should have. I know. I wish I had any sort of confidence. But then Petey, our neighbor, you guys have heard me talk about him. When we were on vacation in California, he made out with a girl, kissed a girl who I actually just saw at Zach's wedding. We were talking about this. We found out via Dawn, his sister, Chelsea's best friend. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Petey kissed someone before me and he was
And
a year
it was
younger.
a girl, not a boy.
And yeah, literally, because he's gay now. It was a shocker on many levels.
Yeah.
But so then we were in California on like a just a little family trip. And so I was like, oh my God, well, I have to like find a boy here to kiss. But I obviously couldn't. And so I came home and the boys asked me, have you kissed anyone yet? And I go, actually, as a matter of fact, I have. I kissed a boy in California. And then news traveled to my best friends who then like called me out on it the next day or like after school and
But,
were
like, in
making
front
fun
of
me.
people?
No, luckily
Okay.
not.
Well, then that's fine.
I know, but they were like, yeah, so Shannon, we heard that you like kissed a boy when you were like
Was
gone,
his name
when you
George
were-
Glass?
George Glass.
From the Brady Bunch.
Brady
if you
Bunch
don't know.
reference.
Wait, probably the young listeners are like, what?
And I do remember when, because I was like, okay, well, I have to make this somewhat believable because like Chelsea will know that it wasn't true. So one day we were at the beach and I like went to the bathroom and like lingered over there for a while. So then if it ever got back to you, I would be like, well, I met somebody when I was on my way to the bathroom.
Oh my God. You're such a psycho.
I was just
Oh,
so
those
sick
are
of
tough
being
years.
asked if I had kissed somebody.
Those are tough years.
I know. I had a really hard time. What was your
Yeah.
experience with me in middle school then?
Oh, well, I read a book. Mom, get out of my life, but first drive me and Cheryl to the mall.
Cheryl.
And
I remember
an
that
old
one.
book.
Yeah.
it is. And it was great because it prepared me for those teenage years of what kind of behavior to expect and what is normal. Chelsea had, when she was a baby, Chelsea had pacifiers. And that was like her self-soothing thing. And, sometimes people have blankies or a stuffy or, whatever. Shannon had me. So I was basically
Mommy's girl.
I was. She was. And you didn't have any of that. You just clung to me. And then literally one day you wanted nothing to do with me.
Aww.
And I was heartbroken. I was crushed. And because you totally rejected me.
C'est la vie. Life is cruel, treat you unfairly.
Even so,
But the
my God,
book-
there must be.
But the book was
Shannon D,
explaining.
you complete me.
That's perfect.
But the book explained that, yes, your children are going to reject you at this point in their lives, but don't worry, they'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went, okay, all right, that's fine. I will just be patient and I will wait. And you didn't talk to me for about 3 years.
3. Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what? I came back in
Like
high
7th,
school.
8th, 9th,
Okay,
right?
9th.
I mean, you spoke to me to drive you to the mall or to, you know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't talk to you in 9th grade because remember I didn't do any extracurriculars and I just came home and watched Oprah. That was all I did that whole year. And the next year you were like, you have to play a sport.
Yeah.
I didn't play any
I just
sports
come
that year.
home and watch Oprah every single day.
Every day.
Well, remember you guys used to watch Maury Povich all the time.
That was in Wildwood because
was
we
in-
didn't have
yeah.
any other channels. That and
No.
QVC.
How about you get outside?
But then remember, so that happened to you and your mom though.
Yes. So I am the youngest of 3, and
Girls.
my oldest sister is 7 years older than me, and then my next oldest sister is 3.5 years older than me. So now I'm like 12, and they're doing really cool things. So if I was 12, then Anne was 19, and Susan was 16. So like, ooh, they're just so cool, and I wanted to do what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wanted to move quick
Mm-hmm.
out of like the childhood into the teenage years and beyond.
Yes.
So my mother didn't like that at all. And yeah, so we really butt heads from then on, like
Mhm.
where she and I were really close before that.
But then didn't you say because you went through that period of time where you rejected her, but then she didn't let you like come back
in,
to her.
right, yeah.
So my dad, when I was going through that, my mom was really heartbroken and upset and
Oh.
probably feeling a little spiteful. And then dad was like, no, you cannot do what your mother
Right.
did.
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
let her back.
Right. Oh, and I wasn't spiteful at all. I was just heartbroken.
Yeah.
I was sad.
Mm.
And also, our house was the house where everybody came and had all the pajama parties and hung out. And then suddenly they stopped doing that, never came to our house anymore. So
Mhm.
that broke my heart too. And where were you?
We were at my friend's house whose mom would let us drink Mike's Hard Lemonade.
Wait,
So then
this
they
was
were
just in
always
middle
doing
school?
all the sleepovers at Sammy's.
Oh, okay.
And never at our house anymore. That's very sad.
My friends and I were over there all the time. She didn't care.
Yeah. Doing weird stuff.
I mean, what was cool because my best friend lived next door.
Right.
It was great because we just hung out between the two houses.
Yeah.
And that's where everybody.
Yeah,
convened.
you didn't stop, but
Yeah.
you and your friends stopped, and then I found out years later why.
Yeah, well, you should have. She should have provided some wine
I
coolers.
guess you
then.
needed the wine coolers.
I don't think so.
Well, then lastly, another little story was when we were in middle school, I told Chelsea that, or was it high school or middle school, that you had to start wearing regular bras.
I'm pretty sure this was high school.
Chelsea
She
would
comes
only
to me
wear
one day, Chelsea, I think it's time that you got a real bra. And I was like, oh, okay.
And I'm
I was
2
like-
years younger
she's
than
2 years
her.
younger than me. I was probably like 16 and you were probably like
14,
14 or something. I was like, okay, Shannon, like, let's buy me a real bra then.
Because she only wore like bralettes and
I
sports
wore like sports bras and bralettes, yeah.
But and I guess a real bra was with cups. So
Yeah,
that
or
they
like
would
like an
look
underwire
better.
cups, like go to
Did you
Victoria's
actually
Secret.
go and do it and listen
Yeah,
to me?
I did.
Aw.
I was just like, okay, Shannon, sounds good. Get a bra.
And then years later, as adults, now we all just wear bralettes. We're
we
back to that.
we hate
hate
all those
cups.
bras.
I
No,
always
no.
hated bras.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should we get into our first story?
Sure.
Let's do it.
AITA for making my daughter shower in PE. I, 45F, have a 14-year-old daughter who I'll call Michaela. Michaela has barely hit puberty and is less developed than the majority of her peers, which I believe is something she is self-conscious about. Last week, my husband and I received an email from Michaela's school saying that because it was approaching the summer, it was now mandatory for all students to shower after PE. I understand the logic. Michaela does PE before lunch, and if she doesn't shower, she'll be sweaty for the rest of the day, which I don't believe is hygienic. The school requested that we pack a towel and any shower gel for the next PE lessons to ensure the students were ready. When I mentioned this to Michaela, she said she would refuse to shower. Since the showers are communal, she told me she did not want to be naked in front of everyone else and would just get dressed. I told her she couldn't do this as the school was enforcing it. Plus, I felt it was healthy for her to shower. Again, she asked me to email the school to say she wouldn't be participating, but I refused to do so. On Friday, despite many protests, I managed to make Michaela go to school with her towel and shower stuff packed. I felt like I was doing the right thing. However, when Michaela got home, she'd been crying all day, saying how she'd had to get naked in front of everyone to shower, and she'd never been so embarrassed because she saw one or two of the girls laughing at her. I told her how sorry I was and that teenage girls are horrible and that she's beautiful, but for hygiene reasons, she still has to shower. I suggested bringing in a swimming costume to wear to shower in, but she said that would bring even more attention to her. She begged me to email the school to not let her shower, but I said I had no good reason to, and I'm sure all of the other girls feel the same. She told me she hated me and has barely spoken to me the rest of the weekend. My husband feels I should send an email as it doesn't hurt, and Michaela is clearly bothered. But I don't think it's a big deal. She will eventually get over it, and it's important for hygiene reasons. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
No discussion. Yes.
Yeah, it's really hard when you're in those years that there's a big difference in development. Like I remember when I first got pubic hair and my friends didn't have it yet, and I would cut it off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did not want my friends to see that I had pubic hair.
Well, remember you walked in on me one time. I was just in your room watching TV and I was like plucking it. And I thought, I was like, oh, if I get on top of it now, I can just pluck it for the rest of my life and it'll never come. It's like, I'll just pluck it. And then more just kept coming. Like I had like one or something.
Yeah.
When I was 10, you and I were in the shower together and I was like this, and she just goes like this to me under my armpit and grabs a hair and yanks it.
Oh my God.
And I didn't know I had armpit hair. And
How
she was
long
like,
was it?
oh my God, you have armpit hair. And just like pulled it. I was like, ow.
I traumatized you. That's why you didn't shave for a while.
And I was so embarrassed though, because I was like, oh my God, ew. Like at that point, I'm 10. Gross.
Well, I remember this one time we were out to lunch with a bunch of our friends, my age and their moms, your friends. And mom just goes in the middle of the lunch, oh my God, you have a mustache, to me.
Sorry.
Isn't that
See,
horrible?
look, we got a little gecko. I have asked my children how badly I fucked them up. And here's one.
Yeah.
Here's 2 examples. I'm really.
At least the armpit one wasn't in public.
No. But I still just remember being
I was like 14
ah.
years old. I was like, oh, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For that.
Thank you for pointing that out. Sorry.
Sometimes the thought comes and
Yeah,
then it just
verbal
comes.
There's no
diarrhea.
filter.
And then,
No filter. Yeah. I called Bill no filter Bill. It's no filter,
No filter Char.
Yeah.
you guys are 2 peas in a pod.
Yes, we are. Okay. So back to the situation. So that's really hard. And then the fact that the girls laugh, which like they're going to be rude because, there's somebody who's not as developed.
Now, I think that we need to hear from Shannon because like you and me are not modest people.
Right.
You are.
Okay.
So like you can probably relate to this little girl better.
Yes.
And also, like you can also maybe relate to this little girl in the fact that maybe those girls weren't laughing at her. You never know, right? Like she's just assuming that people were laughing at her because she's already so self-conscious and embarrassed. So there's a chance that these little girls weren't even necessarily laughing at her. Now there is a chance that they were. I'm not saying that that's not possible.
Right. But she felt
she
it.
Clearly does not want to do this and she's uncomfortable in whatever way she is. So like I don't know. Let's hear from you.
Okay,
about
but
this.
hang on. I just want to speak to
Charlotte's
the mother.
got more to say.
No, as the mother.
Yeah.
How could the mother have handled this a little differently?
Oh, yeah.
So because she kept saying the hygiene factor. Okay,
No,
first
it's
of all,
big of a
ridiculous.
deal.
it really isn't. But if the
Bring
mother's so
wipies,
concerned,
for
exactly,
fuck's sake.
that's
That's
what I was
thinking.
Say.
There's
Yeah.
those
Pack
like
her a
shower wipes.
thing of wipes and let her just go into the stall and
That's crazy that would be mandatory.
do
And
what
honestly,
my family always called a quick and dirty.
yeah. This shows that this is in England because they
Yes.
call it swimming costume.
Yeah.
Because if this was mandatory in the U.S., there would be a lawsuit on the school's hands.
Probably.
You know the U.S. how we are,
Right.
but I do think that that's crazy that it's mandatory. Like because we would go swimming in high school. We had a pool, but we would all just swim in our bathing suits. Like if you're gonna make this mandatory, then you definitely should be like and bring your bathing suit so you can shower in them. I think it's so weird to be like naked in front of your girl schoolmates showering communally.
well,
I would not be like good with that.
I mean, I remember having to do that in school, but
you did?
you know, but
I would
I
hate
wasn't
it.
underdeveloped. I wasn't overdeveloped. I wasn't underdeveloped. I was kind of normal.
Mhm.
So it was, you know, we were all kind of at the same. I mean, I do remember that, you know, there were people. Like I went to school with a girl who had enormous breasts at 3rd grade and was wearing
Wow.
like a full-on bra like my mom wore in 3rd grade.
A bosom bra.
A very
She
big
was
bosom
probably
bra.
embarrassed.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So like the overdeveloped are also
The
probably just
overdeveloped.
embarrassed
Oh,
as the
I'm
underdeveloped.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I wouldn't like. I would definitely be like comparing myself, and it would be hard for me not to like look and be like, oh, okay, like that's what they're doing, or oh, okay, like blah blah. So it's just like so weird and uncomfortable. I would not. I'd
Yeah.
be so weirded out that I'm seeing my classmates naked. It's not like they're not all of them are my friends.
Right.
I would have hated this.
I think that like if I'm thinking about, if we had to do this at this point, first of all, most of the girls, it was such a small school. Like most of the girls I was friends with, and we already just like got naked in front of each other and took showers and things like that. And like,
Right.
Because you did a lot of sleepovers.
yeah, sleepovers or like down the
Sleepovers.
shore. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
like we would go in your guys' bathroom and
Right.
just all shower in that bathroom.
At that age, at 14.
Yeah, like middle
Well, they
school for
had
sure.
been. They had been.
They had been doing
Well,
it.
Maddie and
Right.
Caroline and I always would, but then once we reached this age, we stopped. Like once we reached like 12,
Right.
we like didn't do it anymore, and we didn't talk about it. It was just like, okay, we don't do this anymore. Cause
Yeah,
like,
I mean, because I remember just doing it through puberty, where like some people had boobs, some didn't. Like nobody really. I don't know. I think we didn't. I mean, I remember being in the locker room. We would all be changing in front of each other, and like, I mean, I'm sure some people were like a little more like
oh
cautious.
yeah,
about
you know,
it.
mine was like putting the bra
Yeah.
on, putting the shirt on over
Yeah.
it.
But like, and if you were doing that, it wasn't obvious. But just changing in the
I
locker
would
room
always
is
turn my
way
back
easier
around.
than taking a shower. This is like you're in the jail, and
Yeah.
everybody's showering together.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. I think the mother could have been a little bit more compassionate and tried to help her.
I know, but what do you do? Because I think the white piece thing is a good thing, but yeah, then maybe it draws more attention. But then also, if it's
Well, she was
mandatory, what she's
asking-
supposed to do? I'll write a note.
She was asking the mother to email the school so that she wouldn't have to take a shower.
Yeah.
So she was asking to be eliminated from the showering process. So all she needed to do was go, you know, like go with some wipes into the toilet stall and wipe herself down and get herself dressed and on
be
her merry
out of
little
there.
way.
I think so, too.
Yeah, I think that was the best solution.
And I think if the mother had spoken to probably the PE teacher, who would have been a woman, that, you know, maybe there could have been some
Or other
compromise.
mothers, too,
Or other
maybe.
mothers, right.
The top comment here is perhaps all the girls do feel the same, but that doesn't help your underdeveloped 14-year-old daughter. You, 45F, quote, don't think it's a big deal. Your distressed daughter does. What's actually stopping you from supporting your child in a highly stressful time in her life? It's approaching the end of the school year. Meet your child where she's at,
Yeah.
not where you want to be, and email the school or set up a meeting with the teachers involved, but
Oh, there you
support your
go.
child.
That comment was similar.
Let's see if there's any more. I mean, I feel like everyone is basically going.
I mean, if you really, really didn't want to, you know, if you were real, I would have done something to
Oh my God, yeah.
ameliorate
You know I
the
would have hated
situation.
it.
You would have hated it. Chelsea wouldn't have cared. You would have hated it, and I would have gone and talked to Mrs. Carr.
I was thinking that recently of like in middle school, we really would have gym like sometimes first thing, and then we would just be like sweaty the
we
rest
didn't
of the
even
day.
have showers.
No, we did not.
We just would be. I mean, I always see funny
We
posts
changed.
where it
Funny
would be
because
like,
you were a high school. Were there no shower
There
facilities?
used to be a high school.
There was,
Right.
I mean, we had the locker rooms. I don't think there was. I don't remember ever
I
showering
don't know that I've ever
at
been in
that
the locker rooms there.
school. We never had showers. I don't think.
No.
Maybe they
No.
were taken out at some point.
Yeah.
But-
Probably when it was like, oh, we're turning this into a middle
But we
school
were,
to.
I'm sure people were stanky at the end of the day.
Yeah, especially those years.
And the boys spraying Axe all over themselves.
Oh, someone
God.
here goes. Someone made a superb point with a smartphone in many of the classmates' hands. Naked pics of your daughter could end up on the internet. I don't know about the internet, but maybe like circled around, depending on if there
Right.
was some really mean
Oh,
girls in there,
yeah.
which would be horrible. Like that would be
Uh.
like you would for sure get expelled.
I feel like that you need to be like, nobody can have your phones anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have hated this.
I mean, I really do think there's a good chance that that little girl wasn't being laughed at, and it was just in her head.
You think? I
think
don't know.
so.
Mm,
I mean,
Girls
it's
are mean.
possible.
yeah.
I mean, boys are mean too.
Certainly, but the fact that she felt like this already going into it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's
like it
kinda
could
looking for
definitely
anything.
be
Well,
in her
she's already
head.
maybe been teased over
not having boobs.
not
or-
having
I mean, I'm assuming that that's what we're talking about when we're like she's underdeveloped. She has no boobs.
right.
Oh, someone
Yeah.
else here goes, is it normal in other countries to be forced to shower at school? How are they enforcing it? Yeah, like how would they enforce that? How would they have any idea if your
She's
kid was,
the PE teacher standing there making sure everybody goes in.
I guess, but what is there, a guy PE teacher and a woman PE teacher?
Yeah.
I mean, per like what to have the time to do that. We had two, but it's like they were teaching class, like they had days off, different days off. They weren't working at the same time to like make sure
Oh.
we were showering after every class. That
well,
and
it could,
that
it could
being,
it could be an all girls school.
I guess. I just think that would be like really creepy and weird if that's a part of the job to watch little girls. Then pedophile men are probably jumping to take that job. Then if that's their job to watch little boys shower, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, when I was in high school, there was 2 PE male teachers for the boys and 2 PE female teachers for the girls. Like I had PE with just girls.
it's just crazy that that's mandatory.
Yeah.
Like, ugh,
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
YTA. You need to be
YTA.
supporting your baby girl.
Yeah.
All right, ready? AITA for saying I'll do what it takes to help my daughter be popular in middle/high school. My husband and I are both dentists in our 40s. We had pretty different upbringings in terms of social scenes. I was introverted as a kid, but my parents wanted me to come out of my shell. So they put me into sports and clubs. And perhaps it's controversial, but my mom showed me how to do makeup and my hair cuter. Essentially, she was teaching me what pretty privilege was before the term even existed. What they said worked wonders. I made tons of friends, became outgoing, and ended up enjoying tons of different social experiences. My husband was much more introverted and didn't come out of his shell until the second half of college. He's still quite a bit more reserved than me, but we balance each other out. We have 4 kids, 12F, 11F, 6M, and 4M. Our oldest is a 7th grader, and she was reeling last year from the huge change from elementary school to the awkward/hormonal mess that is middle school. My 11-year-old 6th grade daughter is naturally outgoing and very girly, whereas my 12-year-old is the exact same as how I was as 12 years old. I was a kid who didn't like social politics of becoming a preteen and eventually teen. I told my husband I want to guide my daughter the same way I was guided. I'm going to push her outside her comfort zone and have her join at least one club and one sport. I'm also going to talk to her about how spending 20 minutes on your appearance in the morning really impacts the way people perceive you throughout the day. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's definitely a real thing. My 7th grade daughter has also brought up that some of the girls in her grade have dyed their hair, and I'm willing to drop serious dough on getting her hair done in a nice salon so it stands out. That's what I mean by, quote, doing what it takes. What's the point of having money if not to help your kids? My husband basically thinks I'm an asshole because the explicit goal to help my daughter to become popular the way her sister is and the way I became. I think he's being deliberately obtuse because life is so much better when you benefit from those privileges and social skills.
Well, first of all, I probably wouldn't have even involved my husband in that conversation. For him to even
Yeah.
have an opinion about what I was doing.
Yeah, how would he even ever know?
Bill would have had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, not a clue.
I mean, how many times have you thought, oh, I'd really like to maybe help that person have a little makeover?
Yeah,
I
plenty.
only think that when I see someone with bad posture.
Yeah.
I just want to
well.
be like, can I help you fix this posture,
Yeah.
please?
Well,
Can we work on your posture?
right.
Otherwise, I'm just like, whatever. But the posture thing is the one thing I always want to be like, if I know them and
Right.
I'm comfortable with them, I'll always
Well,
be like,
yes.
shoulders back, tits
Well,
up.
You know, I spend my day
No, I do
looking
it
at
to
people's
Max all the
posture.
time.
But that, you know, like think of a lot of the movies, the little rom-coms where, you know, she
Comes out of her shell
she comes out of her shell and suddenly
after taking off her glasses and taking down her hair.
Exactly.
Wow, she's so pretty.
And she already
now.
was like a 10 out of a 10
my God.
anyway.
But a lot of it was just how she carried herself. too,
Yes.
so
Yes.
it's true.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
So you guys are on the mom side here, huh?
Not necessarily, no.
Well, I don't see that there's, you know, it's like you said earlier, if we had known better about what to expect with puberty. If maybe you just need a lesson, maybe you just need a little bit of guidance. And then you know what? If I as the mother were her and I guided my daughter into that and it didn't take, okay, oh well.
Yeah.
I have at least
Attempted.
Like you said to me one time, why didn't I give you some kind of lessons when you were a child?
Probably about sex stuff.
Not
that I wanted to know how to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. I didn't even know what an orgasm was until I was like 19.
Like,
Well,
why
she had
did
the
you never
sex talk
talk to
with
me
you
about
at
sex?
5, and then she thought she did it.
No.
Just
Every
kidding.
time I brought it up, you shut me down. You did not. I don't want to have that conversation kind of thing.
Mhm.
So my point is you give somebody the tools and like help them out. And you know what? There's as siblings, they're very close in age. They're only a year apart.
Mhm.
And you've got this one who's outgoing and fun loving, and then you've got this other introvert. And sometimes it's really hard for that introvert when you've got an outgoing sibling and you're the introvert. It's very hard for you to know how to overcome that.
Yeah.
And so with a little help and guidance, I don't know that she needs to spend serious money on her hair, but you know what?
I know. I'm like, why do you need to dye her hair at that age?
But you know, like a really good cut.
Yeah, a good cut.
Just show her, like guide her. Here's some tools on how you can make your hair look better. Maybe a little bit of makeup if everybody's wearing makeup.
Well, actually, because in 7th grade, I used to always just wear my hair in a bun. Remember, I would wear it in that like floppy bunny bun, like it looked like bunny ears.
Yes.
And then my little pieces in the front.
Oh yes.
But then in 8th grade, I think like I honestly think we like went to Florida and I realized like my hair was curly because of the humidity or something. And then I started wearing my hair curly, and then everyone would be like, "Oh my God, your hair's so beautiful," because you didn't know I had curly hair or whatever.
Well, your hair as you
I got
as you
older,
were
it
a
got
little girl, you
curlier.
had straight hair.
Yeah.
Then as you got older, the top was straight, and underneath, when I would pick your hair up, this was all ringlets.
Yeah.
And then gradually this got replaced with
curls too.
curls.
I didn't know how to style it at all, so I would just wear it in a bun because I didn't have any idea what to do with it. And then in 8th grade, I finally like figured it out. So yeah, little things I guess can help.
Yeah.
Little tweaks.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just like how you go about it
Right.
that I think is the important
Yeah,
thing.
I think
for
as
her.
long as like you're not like making your 12-year-old daughter feel like, oh, you need to be prettier and you need
Right.
to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
better
yes.
and like go be more social, go be more like your sister or something. As long as she's not getting that feeling from the mom, if it's just like, hey, I'm doing the thing that a mom does,
Right.
which is teach you how to do your makeup, which is teach
Exactly.
you how to do your hair, which
Yeah.
is
which also
and
I don't
encourage you
think-
to join a club, encourage you to play
think
a
that's
sport.
totally
You
fine.
know, there's nothing.
Yes.
I mean, that's totally great.
Yeah.
Getting
for
out
a lot
there,
of different reasons.
So many different reasons.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure, just being well-rounded, having hobbies, finding purpose,
Right, moving your
enjoying,
body.
yeah,
I think if your daughter is also expressing the desire, then that also, you know what I mean? Then of course,
Of
you know, like
course.
then help her out if she's asking.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think, I mean, the hair thing, I understand getting a good haircut. I definitely don't think you need to be dyeing a 12-year-old's hair.
No.
And I
unless you're doing
also
like a
don't-
cool colors.
I
Yeah.
guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
little
when I
cool
was, what was that,
color.
like 14? And remember I did like the pink, and then I think, I did like a couple of color things, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Which is like, but just that's just like not necessary to be popular, you know. But I do think like learning how to style your hair and having a
Right.
good haircut, like instead of how I was just wearing it in a bun all the time, and it really wasn't that cute because I didn't know what to do with it. So I do think that is helpful. But also, I really don't think a 12-year-old needs to be wearing makeup though.
No.
12-year-olds
No.
like all are
you know what?
naturally cuties.
Yeah,
I feel like
But today they're wearing it a lot younger.
they are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel
And I
like
guess if
I feel like
it's-
that has a lot to do with social
There's-
media
yes.
because they're all
There's a
doing
lot
like
of
makeup
tutorials.
tutorials,
Yep.
and they're actually doing their makeup well. Remember when we first started doing makeup, we'd have like
Oh my God, the
blue
eyeliner.
eyeshadow all over everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it was
Oh my
gaudy for
God.
sure.
Well, it was just also the times, but yeah, we didn't know how to do anything.
Remember my pink sparkly eyeliner that I just like obsessed
that
over
was
in 8th grade?
cool. That was really cool. That was when she was super cool. Cheerleading captain.
I'll tell you a funny story about have a dad girl. So
A dad girl. What does that mean?
a
A girl dad?
a girl dad. Sorry,
Okay.
I was like, what are we talking about?
girl dad.
Dad girl.
Okay, about being a girl dad. So Bill came home from work one day, and I looked at his face and I said, "So you've had glitter on your face all day?" And he was, "What do you mean?" I said, "Go look in the mirror." And he looks in the mirror. He has glitter all over his face
No way.
because you had like a glitter cream in the bathroom.
Oh.
And
He put it on his face.
it went all over his face.
He had the whole work day. People were probably like,
Oh.
what the? No one said anything to him.
Bill went out partying last night.
Yeah. They're like, let's just not bring it up. Maybe he's having an affair. We don't want to out him.
Oh my God.
That's funny. All
Yeah.
right, we've got a top comment here. I'll reserve judgment because you're a parent who only wants your kid to have a good time in school. However, I see a red flag potentially in your approach for several reasons, but namely, nowhere in your daughter engineering plan did you mention instilling in your kids a sense of self-worth that isn't predicated on fitting in with the crowd.
True.
Nor do I see anything about you wanting your daughter to be a kind and thoughtful person. I'll assume that goes without saying. As I said, you're her parent and you know what works for your family, but so does your husband. So it's better to get a clear consensus on how you go about this. The other thing I think you should watch out for is not projecting too much on your kids or not trying to live through them. Maybe your daughter will be happy being in a small clique with just a few kids. Maybe she won't. Part of growing up is finding one's way. Yeah, I guess the one thing like you did try and step in on that was the issue between you two was the armpit hair thing.
Oh, you mean when she was older?
Yeah, where Chelsea didn't shave her armpits for a period of time and you were like not happy about it.
I did not like that.
Yeah.
but-
So
And
that
I kept
was
being
one,
like, leave me alone, mom.
I know.
yeah. So it was one thing where you it was almost like you
And I did.
were-
I just gave you razor blades as a joke for Christmas every year in your stocking.
yes, the way
Still
I get
do.
Cole.
Yes.
But yeah, that's sort of like it wasn't harming her in any way. She wasn't coming to you like, why aren't I popular? And then it's like, oh well, maybe if you shaved your armpits, like, it was just kind of you were projecting your own like, I don't like this, right.
Yeah.
So looking back, maybe not the best.
Well, and we don't need to talk about the car ride home from the airport, but the armpit hair might have something to do with that.
oh, because she was a little stinky.
You know, I had my very hippie
She was a
hobo
hippie
phase.
girl. All right, we have here YTA. Your mom didn't teach you about pretty privilege. She saw introversion as a flaw that needed to be fixed. And the way you talk about your husband and your daughter, you have fully accepted your mom's teaching. Introversion isn't something that needs to be corrected. Ask your daughter if she wants any of these offerings. If not, respect that. Don't just blindly pass on the crap your parents did. But hold on, didn't she kind of say that her daughter was struggling with it or no?
I don't know. I think the only thing she really brought her daughter into was the hair dyeing thing, because that is something that her daughter sounded interested in. was getting her hair dyed,
She did.
right?
Oh, she brought up that some of the girls in the grade were dyeing their hair.
But did she bring it up like I want to do it too? Because she doesn't even necessarily mention that. That could have just been like me coming up and being like, "Mom,
All
why
these
the
girls
girls
are,
just
like,
dye
dyeing
their
their
hair?"
hair.
Like I might have thought it was a
Yeah.
stupid thing, maybe,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
sound like here that she it just seems it does say that she had a hard time going from like, you know, her elementary school, which was like, you know, a place that she grew up, to like awkward hormonal middle school. But I guess you don't want to ever see your kids struggling / like having a hard time making friends. So I can see as a mom and you're older and you're seeing where little things could be like, okay, well maybe if you kind of put a
If
little
we
bit more
tweak
effort
this
here.
a little bit here.
I mean,
Or just giving her the skills. And again, if
Yeah, and
she
if she doesn't
chooses
take
to
it,
not use them, well, then
that's what you gotta
that's
do.
okay. But I did my job.
Yeah, but I do think that encouraging her, as I was saying, you know, freshman year, I, for whatever reason, did not join any sports or clubs or anything. And it was like I was kind of becoming like a couch potato, like
Right.
bumpkin.
And part of the parent's job is to set your children up for success. And like it or not, that's the world we live in. Just look at all of media, and not just social media today, but, you know, going way back with fashion magazines and all of that. It's
Yeah, you do have more success. I mean, there's literally studies that
there are
say
studies
like people
that
who
your
are
appearance
attractive
definitely is a huge part of your success.
Yeah,
And so it is
for women more than men.
yes, and it is a responsibility for parents to set you up for success in all areas of life.
Well, especially hygiene. Oh my god.
Yes. Yes.
But I think what would be a good, maybe nice thing for this mother to do would be to, whatever she's doing to teach that older daughter or whatever, like do it together with the other daughter.
because they're so
Make
close in
it
age.
like a fun mother-daughter bonding thing. Like, hey girls, let's like
Let's
learn
not
how to do
single the
some
one
makeup
out.
together. And like not just be telling the one like, oh, you need to work. Do you spend 20 minutes a day on your appearance?
Right.
It really goes a long way. But oh,
Yeah.
other one that you're doing fine, listen, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, like that
yeah,
would be a little
yeah.
bit like I might feel a little like, okay.
And her
Yes.
post had a lot to do with the disagreement between she and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is what I'm offering my daughter, and my husband doesn't agree. What do you think? It was
It's like, well, what does the daughter think?
I think
Yeah.
what she said though, I'll do whatever it takes to make my daughter
Right.
popular.
Her approach
Yeah.
is
Which
not
was
good.
like,
Yeah.
ew, that
Yeah,
does sound gross.
that
like
was.
I
That
would
was.
understand the partner being like, honey, that's kind of sounds like a
Right,
lot. Are you
right.
getting over involved in our child's life now? Like,
Yeah.
are you gonna go like make her friends? Are you gonna go
Yeah.
like,
right when
Well-
she's not really asking for
yeah,
it?
like yeah, her phrasing was not maybe
right.
ideal.
And
But-
as we were discussing too earlier when we were talking about just puberty in general, is there's so many changes that our body goes through, and that we need to learn how to navigate this new body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, guidance is good, but I think her approach is not great. So
Yeah.
because of that, maybe we'll go light YTA.
Light YTA.
Because
Right.
she's has good intentions, but I think she's projecting a little bit about like, you know, her own
Look,
shit
one
from
way or
when she-
another, she's going to scar her kids.
True.
Churro.
That's true, and we know it for sure. All right, well, thank you guys for joining me and talking all things puberty.
Woohoo.
We're going to record another episode right after this.
So we'll see you next week.
So we'll see you next week.
See you next week in the same clothes.
Yep, and the same beautiful faces. And you can follow them at Healing Bodies, Healing Minds, Charla Lewis, Instagram, and Ohana Surf Project for Chelsea's Surf School.
Woo.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Remember to rate, review, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram for all the latest and greatest polls. And remember, you can't spell drama without
Without a
D.
D.